again. Hi, how are you doing? We are back with another e-learning video. Quite a few things happened this week. We've been watching the news again. I would, if I was in the classroom, tell you about it, but I'll tell you here instead. I watch the British news every week and keep up to date, not just because my country is England, although nowadays I feel my country is Cambodia more than England, but also because I like to keep up to date with what's happening in the world, which I think you should do. When you're in the classroom, we look at the maps and we look at what's happening, and it helps us to understand our situation here. So what's been happening in the world? Well, the virus is definitely not over. In America, we've had a lot of new cases this week in two big states, Texas down the south, very, very big state, and also Florida down the south, which I've been to, and that also is a big state, and it's a very humid and tropical type state as well, a bit like Cambodia's climate here. So much more cases coming there, and that is why we must remind ourselves again to stay safe here with our masks that we wear and with our caution and being careful where we go and what we do. Follow the advice that we are given, and we will hopefully get back to the classroom soon. So what are we doing this week? We're moving on to parts 3 and 4 of the chapter shopping and e-commerce. Okay, we did 1 and 2 last week, which I'll come on to in a minute. Let's just recap and refresh our mind what e-commerce was, because that was an unusual phrase, wasn't it? Electronic, the E stood for, didn't it? And commerce, trading, doing business, buying and selling, all types. Commerce could be anything from clothes to food, ships, cars, anything at all. So we had parts 1 and 2. We're now moving on to parts 3 and 4, which is pages 39 to 49. So let's have a look at what we did last week. We started that chapter last week, and the first thing, of course, we did was vocabulary. Yeah, we like to do that every week. It's a focus with our lesson. In the classroom, it's also a focus, but with e-learning, it's a big focus, because if we look at the vocabulary words that come from the chapter, they help to connect you to the subject and also to the learning. I think they're a very good link between the book and what you're thinking and speaking and listening. So we did vocabulary, 21 words, and they were linked to the shopping topic. Also, we looked at what shopping is. Now, we know shopping is a great thing. We love to do it. We all love to do it. We may not like to buy the same things. Your mum, I'm sure, probably doesn't like to buy the same things as your dad. She might do, but she probably doesn't. And your dad, he will like to buy certain things, and your mum will like to buy something else. But we all like to go shopping. For me, the best shopping is tech. I love the tech stuff, the phones and the laptops and all the tech things that go with them, the little earphones and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I absolutely love it. So if I go shopping, that's what I want to do. What else did we do? Well, we looked at something called pros and cons. Now, pros and cons is a common way of weighing up a subject or topic. Happens a lot in business, actually. We look at the pros and cons of a proposition or a project before we carry it out, before we do it. We look at the pros, which are the good things, yeah, the advantages, and the cons, of course, the bad things, the disadvantages. So we compare, and in the book, if you remember, that in the textbook there was a table, a box, and there was pros and cons of both online shopping and what I like to call shopping in the high street. Shopping in the high street in England has been reducing over the last years because online shopping is so enormously unpopular. Companies like Amazon are selling millions of items, and they are very popular, and we touched on why and the reasons for it in that exercise, didn't we? Now, some of the pros, just off the top of my head to remind you from last week: online shopping, it's easy, and also we can do it any time of the day. We can wake up in the night feeling a bit fed up and have a cup of coffee and buy something online if we want to. We can do it on the bus, we can do it in the shopping centre, we can do it when we have a break at work. We don't need to choose our time to fit opening hours, because online shopping is open 24 hours a day. Also, the online shopping, it saved some money, didn't it? Because the people selling online with a website, they don't have the same cost as a shop would have. But of course, like anything, there are a few cons. One con was that you can't try the item on. If you're buying a new jacket or you're perhaps buying a new dress for a party, you like to try it on, look in the mirror, see how you look before you buy it. But of course, if you're buying online, you can't do that. You can't put your hand right through the computer and grab it. You have to take a chance a bit. You can send it back, but if we send it back, it's a lot of trouble. So the other con was the fact that service was not that great online, and it still isn't. And companies tell you we will reply within 10 minutes or whatever it is, but at the end of the day the service is not perfect. Whereas if you go into the store in the high street, you buy something, you've got a problem, you go back and see the guy in there, he's very nice to you, or she is, and they sort you out. So that was the pros and the cons. And then of course the last one, we did the homework, and the homework last week, a special shopping trip perhaps. What we did, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to buy, and how good it was. And that is, I think, important to look in our minds at what we really like to buy and what we like to spend our money on. Because when we grow up, when we go out to work, when we leave the education system, work, it's all about money. How much we earn determines how much of a life, a good life we have with our family, what we can do for them, what we can provide for them, whether we have a nice house, a good car. All this is centered around how much money we earn and what kind of job we get. So when we're talking about shopping, we're talking about what we can afford to buy. We'd all like to go out and buy the new Samsung S20 Ultra phone. It looks so beautiful. We'd all like to buy it, but the price tag is so big. And it is not always available to us if we don't have the money to shop the things we like. So I think that was a good homework. So that's what we did last week. We're going to look at the same chapter today, but we're going to do parts 3 and 4. So the first thing to do is vocabulary. Let's do it. So let's get on with the vocabulary. The first part of our lesson, first part of every lesson that we do, because we know how important it is to focus on that from the book. All the words are from the book. Just to remind you, in the classroom, the 21 words I would pick myself. I would give you my own words, which I feel is giving you more, giving you extra to what we have in the book. But I think when we do the e-learning, I think it's much better and much easier for you to connect the chapter with what we're doing if we have the words from the book. So when you do the textbook activities, you will recognize these words from what we've done in vocabulary, and then you know what they mean. So let's make a start. Number 1, nice word for us to wear, jeans, jeans, J-E-N-S, jeans, popular clothes, one of the most popular clothes in the world, and a pair of trousers or pants if you're American that have lasted and stayed the test of time because they were being worn in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and right through 2000 into today. We all ages wearing jeans, from the young children right up to the older generation, or what in this country we call Om. So very popular clothes indeed, the jeans, and they come in very different colours. They can be blue or they can be black, and lots of different makes. So what about number 2? Pair, P-A-I-R. And it means, of course, 2, the number 2, a pair, it could be a pair of twins. Pair, actually, when we talk about trousers, if we're talking about jeans, we would say a pair. And sometimes the student says to me, Simon, but there's only one piece of clothing. Why do we call it a pair? Well, I'll tell you why they call it a pair, because there are 2 legs. And it's the same as boots and shoes. We say a pair of shoes because we have 2 feet, even though it's really one item for one part of your body. So just remember that, pair of jeans. Number 3, brand, B-R-A-N-D. Yeah, it's a type of name. It's a good thing I'll show you in the sentence later what I've picked out for Belty, but brand is a name. It's a brand name that sells its product only on the name. Now, this could be a pair of jeans. It could be Levi's jeans, which everybody knows are very good. But it could be another name. It could be Coca-Cola, you call Coca. But that name is a brand name that everybody knows. And the way it's written is just for that name. It's exclusive, if you like, to that name. So a brand, okay? Number 4, favourite, F-A-V-O-R-I-T-E, favourite. Yes, it's our best. And another great sentence I'll show you later using the word favourite. The best thing, the one we like the best, okay? Number 5, wild, wild, W-I-L-D. And I've put there as the definition, not tame, but I cheated a little bit because it doesn't tell you too much. You may not even know what tame is, but wild is an animal in the wild. The wild is nature, it's the countryside, it's the jungle, it's the forest, it's the areas that we haven't made our home in. We haven't made a city, or we haven't built houses or built buildings on there, and we call it the wild. And if we say someone is wild or an animal is wild, it means that they're not tamed down. It's like that they were living in the forest, okay? So wild, nice word that one. 6, woolly. What a lovely English word, woolly. W-O-O-L-Y, woolly. And I've put the meaning as an even better English word, fluffy. Yeah, lovely, beautiful word. Sounds so funny when you say it, fluffy. You should practice that one. Woolly, the wool from the sheep. Yeah, now you don't need it much in Cambodia because it's nice and hot here. Khmer don't need the woolly jumper, but in the European countries, in the cold countries, we do need the woolly jumper. And it would be a top made of wool. Animal wool, like possibly the goat, which they call mohair, or it could be the sheep, which is more common. And it's nice and warm, woolly jumper, yeah? Lovely word. Number 7, clothes. C-L-O-T-H-E-S, clothes. Things we wear. Now, clothes is a word that I probably mostly correct Khmer on, because sometimes they say clothes is. Because you see the es at the end, you think it's is rather than just clothes. But the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation is clothes, not clothes is. And if I hear Khmer say that, or anybody say that, I will say, hey, hang on. No, it's clothes, okay, just to put you right. Because in England, if you say to somebody, I want to buy some more clothes, you say clothes is, they'll think that something's wrong, okay? So clothes, not clothes is. Number 8, websites, W-E-B-S-I-T-E-S, website. Online places, they're actually addresses, aren't they? They're written addresses, www. perhaps, which is World Wide Web something, and the address of the website, when you click it into the address bar at the top on your PC or on your phone, it will take you to that website. It's like an address going to knock the door of the website. Websites are good because they give us information. They could be fun websites to watch something. They could be something to give you information on, okay? What about number 9? Boots. B-O-O-T-S, another double letter for Simon, boots. And of course the double letter here for footwear. Something we wear on our feet. But why wear boots? Why not wear shoes? Well, boots are strong. They're more better to protect us, if you like. People that might wear boots, the fireman could wear boots, the policeman, and also maybe the soldier, he would be wearing boots. They're good in England because some of them, they've got the metal cap at the toe. The builders and the workmen, the construction workers wear them, so that if they drop something on their foot, it hits the metal and they're protected, okay? And lastly here for the top 10, number 10, dress. Dress, D-R-E-S-S, double S there. Women's clothes, yeah, you don't often see a guy wearing a dress. You might do in this world, 21st century, you wear what you like. But at the end of the day, dress is almost exclusively the women's clothing, and it would run down maybe to the knees or a bit longer, and we might see a lovely dress at the wedding. Your mum, if you go to a wedding, she'd dress up in a lovely dress, all the colourful and the glitter, yeah? So that's the first 10. Now if we move back a bit, let's look at the next section here. Start off with number 11, lovely word again, an English word, jacket. J-A-C-K-E-T, jacket, nice word. What is it? Well, it's clothing again. Jacket here, yeah, we can wear this one as the jacket. So a nice jacket to keep us warm, yeah? Number 12, deliver, D-E-L-I-V-E-R, deliver. Take, I put take there. Mostly deliver in English, we would be referring to something coming through the post. Now at the moment, the post actually is very difficult to deliver because countries are not accepting much coming in. And I know Cambodia's got an issue with allowing planes to come in with post. So at the moment, it's not so easy to get post from abroad. My mum sends me a parcel every 2 weeks, and at the moment I can't get any because we can't get the post in here. But if we deliver, we take the item to the customer, yeah? We deliver to them. Number 13, place. P-L-A-C-E. Of course, the location, the place. Where are we right now? we're in B6 making a video for you, which is RSA. Okay, that's the place, that's the location. Number 14, order, O-R-D-E-R. Now, I've put to want there. It is to want, but it's a request for what you want. If you are in a restaurant and you want to have some ice cream, you order the ice cream, you ask them for the ice cream. You want it, but you have to ask for it, and it is the asking that is the ordering, okay? Number 15, furniture, F-U-R-N-I-T-U-R-E, furniture, lovely long word. Things we use in our homes. Well, what kind of things are furniture? We possibly have the chair, we have a table, we have sofa, something we sit on, a table perhaps that we make some coffee or some drink on there when we sit down. So furniture are the things we use in our home. Number 16, gift, G-I-F-T, gift. Of course it's a present, yeah. I notice out here, sometimes in Asia, not necessarily particularly in Cambodia, but sometimes in Asia, birthdays are not celebrated in quite the same way they are in the Western world. In England, birthday's a big thing, you know, especially a big number like 30, 40, 50, 60, something like that. So we celebrate birthday, we give a gift, we give a present, okay? Also at Christmas we would give the gift. Number 17, groceries. Groceries, lovely word. G-R-O-C-E-R-I-E-S, groceries. Yeah, it's food. Actually, it could be anything. It could be milk, cheese, butter, eggs, anything that you buy from the supermarket or the market store, the market. We call it, as a collective, we call it groceries. Okay, groceries. Number 18, shopper. S-H-O-P-P-E-R. Someone who is buying. Yeah, the shopper. Someone who goes shopping. The person, the man, the woman, the boy, the girl who goes shopping to buy. The shopper, okay? Number 19, purchase. P-U-R-C-H-A-S-E. Purchase. Now, it's a fancy word, if you like, for buy. Buy, purchase, the same word, exactly the same meaning. You could go to a shop and buy, and in English, if you're talking to someone and saying, I'm just going down the shops, you'll say, I'm going down to buy this or buy that. You won't say purchase. Purchase is a bit more of a fancy word, okay? But it means the same. Number 20, a promise. Now, I think this is a very important word. P-R-O-M-I-S-E, promise. I put there vow, which is a synonym really. It doesn't explain it, but I will explain it to you. Promise is when we say something and we make our feeling that we are going to do what we say. So if I promise to you that I will be back in the classroom by November, I will be back then by November. Let's just say I was promising that. Or if I promise that I will take you to the movie to see a movie, then I promise. Promise is very important to keep. If we break our promises, something happens, we lose trust from people. If you promise something, keep your promise. I've believed that since I was a young boy. Okay, so very important word, promise. 21, ship. S-H-I-P. Now I've put boat there because that's the literal meaning of a ship, a boat. But actually, it can also mean to post. If we say we post an item out to someone, we could be shipping an item out, okay? To ship, to post, or the boat. So, we've done our vocabulary. Make sure you write all those down and the meanings, not in Khmer but in English, please. And also, let's look at some sentences because it's the sentences that make us understand what we're doing. So we'll start with number 1. She loved her new pair of jeans. Yeah, she loved her new pair of jeans. My favourite clothing. You know, when I get home, I can't wait to put my jeans on to relax. Number 2, this is a lovely sentence. Belty is a famous brand. Yes, it is. Belty, the badge shape, the blue, with the word Belty and the tick, it is a famous brand. And, you know, I can tell you something truthfully. Anyone I've spoken to and mentioned the word Belty since I've been here in Cambodia knows the school. No one in Cambodia I mentioned Belty to that I work there as a teacher has said who. They all know Belty. Everybody knows it. So it is a very famous brand name. Number 3, my favourite movie of all time is Lawrence of Arabia. Yes, it is. I often talk about movies in the classroom, and everybody who managed to listen to me will remember Lawrence was my favourite movie. Number 4, next door's cat is so wild it bites. Actually, that's a true story in a way. One of my neighbour's cats was wild, it seemed. Like this, wild, okay? Number 5, she was going shopping in the afternoon for clothes. Now that's a good sentence. She was going shopping. We could stop there, but we put in the afternoon, we tell you when, and also we tell you what for clothes, okay? Good sentence, good conversation. Number 6, soldiers must wear boots. Yes, they must, because they go over all sorts of terrible places, like rocky places and through rivers, and they must wear boots, all right? Number 7, the girl wore her pink dress to go to her friend's birthday party. Another great sentence, you know, tells you who and what and where, and even the friend's birthday party, not just a birthday party. So really terrific sentence, that one. Number 8, I would like to order a pizza, please. Yeah, I like that. We use the exclamation mark at the end because it's an exclamation. When we say something like please or hey or wow, we're not actually asking a question. We're not making a statement. We are simply exclaiming something. We are making an exclamation, and that's what that mark is, okay? So remember that one, please. Number 9, she gave me a lovely gift. Yeah, a beautiful present for my birthday. And lastly, I promise I will come to the birthday party. Yeah, and if I promise something, I will do it. Okay, great. Okay, so textbook activities, let's get back on with those. We've done our vocabulary, we've looked at our sentences, we've got our words firmly fixed in our mind, and hopefully you've written all that down in your notebook. Make sure you write down the words. Also the meaning, not in Khmer but in English, okay? And then we practice the sentences. We got 10 sentences there that I wrote up. If you want to do some, you can. Make sure you write mine down, but maybe you can come up with 5 or even 10 yourself, you know? So next thing is the textbook. Now we know how important the textbook is. The textbook is the focus and cornerstone as well of what we're doing in our lessons. We use the textbook for the teachers to teach different subjects, and we use those activities to improve our English and to practice and to test us, okay? So they are important. Now I've written their activities for you to do. I've listed a few, and I'll take one which I'll use as an example, and the one I've picked today, I really like it. I'll tell you what I used to do in the classroom. So page 39, activity 1, it's a listening one. We've got the headphones there, which I put for the listening ones. We're trusting you a little bit to do the listening ones. You need to listen to the audio. You need to use the CD, the compact disc. You need to use that yourself. A little bit tricky perhaps to do at home because you've got a lot of distractions there, I understand. But it is important that we do it. The subject is listening and speaking. I know we like to speak. I certainly love to speak. But also we have to listen. Learning English, listening and speaking, being able to talk the language, it's learning both of those things. So make sure that we do take those listening activities on as well. So now page 40, activity 2, preparing to listen, and then page 40, activities 3 and 4 is the listening. Now we know that listening to stress words comes up. In the first few chapters in the book, the stress words section is quite small. I like stress words because it sounds a little bit strange, doesn't it? The words are worried. We always have a joke in the classroom that the words are scared, but actually it doesn't mean that the words are scared. What it means is that the stress is the emphasis, the tone that you're putting on the words. And when you're listening to stress words, we're trying to pick out those words in what's being said. And it's very important because we have to listen carefully to what's being said and identify the right words. So actually it's a very good exercise. Page 41, activity 5, listening for store names. Now those two activities here, the store name one, listening for the prices, and listening for the store names, they're very good ones as well. There are 3 stores and 3 different prices, and you have to match them together. Now they're not very, very difficult activities. They're quite simple, and the students in the classroom that did it with me, they never had any trouble doing it. But it was interesting to match up the prices of the Western jeans or Wild West jeans, and they give you the advert. So it's an interesting one. Have a go at that one. It's quite fun, okay? And then Page 43, we've got activity 7 is listening, and finally page 43, activity 8, comparing the prices in the stores, and at the bottom, page 45, activity 1, identifying the clothing. Now that is the exercise, the activity that I've picked out as an example. Now let's have a look. Before I sort of read through it with you, I'll just tell you what I used to do in the classroom. When I first started teaching at Balti, the first chapter I did was this one, shopping and e-commerce, and the first couple of exercises I did in the classroom were these ones, and I got so much fun out of doing this one. What I did was I drew all the pictures myself on the board, and then I got the student to come up and write the word underneath, and they loved it and so did I. And it is actually a very good activity. Let's look at what you've got to do then. Page 45, activity 1, identifying clothing. Look at the words in the box, then look at the photos, write the name of each item. So we start off, we've got trousers, shoes, dress and boots. Now that's only 4, there are many more in the actual activity, but for the purposes of what we're doing, I just wrote up the 4. So let's have a look. The shoes here, we wrote the word shoes, okay? We can identify my excellent drawing of shoes. Here we've got the trousers, okay? And we've got trousers up here. It's an American book, so we probably won't see the word trousers. What will we see? The word pants. Yes, we will. But unfortunately, in England, I get my students to laugh when I tell them this. If you go into the clothes shop and ask for pants, they'll take you to the underwear, the Lee-O. That is what pants is in England. So trousers we call it in England, but in this book, for the textbook, the course book is American, so you'll see pants on there. And then finally over here, you've got the word boots, okay? And I've drawn those boots, nice pair of cowboy boots. And of course this one I didn't fill in, but this would be dress, okay, dress. So it's only 4 there, just to give you an idea, a taster of what we're doing in this activity. There are many more pictures, and it is fun to do. There's a couple there that you might have to think about because they're fairly similar, the shirts and the sweatshirts and so on. But it's a good exercise and good fun. So please do that one. Take your pictures and send it to me. If you want to draw some clothes in your notebook and then identify them with the names, yes. Do it, send it to me. I'd love to see it, okay? So finally we come on to the last part of the lesson, which is the homework. A very important part. You know how much I want you to do your homework. I believe that it's very important for responsibility, but building responsibility in students, because we have to take home the work and do it at home and send it back to us in the classroom, or in the case of e-learning, you will take pictures and send to my Telegram. The work we do in the classroom, we watch you do it, we help you do it. It's not so much responsibility for you because you're being directed to do it. But with homework, you have to go home and do it yourself. So it teaches you good responsibility. And let's have a look what I've put up here for today then. What shopping would you do if you won $1 million? Now look at that, what a great homework. $1 million, yeah? You get your ring pull from the Sting or whatever it is and you open it up, it's $1 million. Wow, what would you do with it? What would you spend it on? We don't know, we'd have to think hard. But there are always a few things that you immediately think of, right? The house, the big house for all your family. Maybe the lovely brand new car. I know that I like the James Bond car, the silver James Bond car. Maybe a nice moto, an expensive moto, you know. Holiday, that's a top choice, isn't it? Holiday. Don't just tell me these things, tell me what. If you want a house, what type of house? The car, what type of car and why? Moto, what type of moto and why? Holiday, where do you want to go? Who are you going with? What about help family and friends? So many of my students, when they talk about what they do if they have money, they tell me, Simon, I want to help my family. Simon, I want to help my friends. And this is heartwarming for me as an Englishman to hear that from you. So that's a good choice. And the last one, shopping. Yeah, run round Eon Mall, or maybe even Eon 2, which is a bit bigger, I think. Run round there and spend some money in the shops and see what you can buy of phones and clothes and things like that. Tell me why and what you want. Okay, draw me some pictures. You're going to buy a fantastic car? Draw it for me, okay? Because when we use pictures, it helps to reinforce and back up the words we're saying. That's why watching movies is much better for learning English than it would be just listening to someone talking on the radio. Because we see the pictures, it makes everything clearer and we can match up our vision, our understanding better with the words. So please draw some pictures for me. I know you love to do your drawing. So that's the homework. What a great homework. Think about it. Dream about it. $1 million. All right? So thank you very much for that. Good e-lesson today to hear my activities and the things that we talked about. And thank you for your time. And I'll speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.